We're good.
Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our June 17th, 2021 Board of Trustees meeting. It is 6:30 my time, so let's go ahead and call our meeting to order. Do we have anything to add to our agenda?
No.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 20th, 2021 board meeting?
So moved.
All right, do I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved as written. All right, let's move on to our treasurer's report, please.
All right. Let's see. On April 30th, we had a starting balance of $1,848,180. Our income for May was $40,036. Our expenses for May were $101,550. A lot of that was for the debt payment on the building. And then our ending balance on May 31st was $1,786,666.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the May check register and the financial report?
Make a motion.
All right, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we will move on to our librarians report, please.
So generally speaking, circulation and patron visits, they're steadily increasing, so that's good. I know it's kind of hard to get any kind of idea of how things are changing with this, just because we're comparing to a month last year where we weren't open. But we are improving steadily. For just to highlight some of the programs in May, Fran did her virtual community tour on Short Creek and had 215 people watch that, so that was awesome. The Conservation District donated 200 oak and dogwood trees that we gave those out. And then we also had the big story walk program at the athletic park. That was hugely successful and really just a collaboration between, we had about a dozen community organizations helping to pull that off. So that was a really good success. To highlight a couple of the upcoming programs in July. So Fran's virtual community tour in July is going to be looking at business holdings and just significant sites related to C.C. Hagenmeyer. So that'll be through Falmouth, Butler, and Boston. And then we're also in partnership with the Extension and the Health Department and the school systems. We'll be doing a preschool readiness camp in July. Let's see, summer reading, of course, that's in full swing now. I know this will officially be on next month's report, but I just have to say the circus that we had last weekend was phenomenal. We got so much positive feedback on that. Estimated 1,188 attendees. And I do want to give a shout out to the National Honor Society, and also Garrett with the Kentucky Career Center for them helping and volunteering for that event. We've had a couple more summer reading donations come in. So a huge thank you to Carmuse Lyman Stone and also the Pendleton County Fiscal Court for their donations. No maintenance this month, none whatsoever. Finally. Let's see, an update on the job openings. So we're currently accepting resumes for a circulation clerk and also a temporary teen program assistant. So I know it's a little bit different from what we talked about last month, but Kelly and I have been sitting down just kind of fleshing out the direction that we're wanting to go in when Donna retires and we replace her. So we sat down and worked out the jobs and the time that those are going to take, and we think the best move is to do a combined adult and teen services coordinator. So with that, Ray Jean, who is currently our teen program assistant, stepped into the temporary adult program assistant role. So we're hiring to replace her, and we'll do that as a temporary position as well.
Sorry I'm late, gang. I'm here though.
You're all right. Good to see you, Dave. Another really awesome thing is Stacy Earn with Club 41040 at Southern Elementary has installed a pantry box in front of the library. So this was built by their 4th and 5th grade students as just kind of a service project. It's out there for anybody who needs food or who is able to donate food. Anybody can put non-perishable items in there or take it out as they need it. So just a huge thank you to her. And I think that's going to be a great service to our community.
That's fabulous.
It really is. It really is. Awesome idea. For grants, so the hotspots and laptops, those are all still going really well. We actually have all of them checked out with a reserve. We're going to be doing for the ALA Libraries Transforming Communities grant. We've got the community conversation scheduled for July 20th at 6:30 p.m. and that'll be via Zoom. And that's about all I have for my report, unless anybody has any other questions.
All right, thank you. Do we have anything for the regional report?
Okay. So what they did this month is they sent out a trustee tip on setting tax rates in preparation for next month when we start discussing that. Just because this is kind of a confusing thing for a lot of people, I just want to kind of go over a couple of things in this. So Kdla calculates the tax rates for public libraries based on the certification property valuation, which is provided by the Kentucky Finance and Administration Cabinet. And it's using a formula provided by the Department for Local Government. They send us two rates. The compensating rate, which should produce an amount of revenue approximately equal to what we got in the previous year from real estate or real property, and also a 4% rate, which is meant to bring in 4% more than the previous year. But the board has the ability to take a different rate from those two rates. It explains the legal requirements if a rate is set that exceeds the compensating rate. And just to put it out there, we haven't set a rate that's more than compensating in over 10 years. And most of those years, the rate that we've set has actually been less than compensating. But it goes over all of the other legal requirements with that. So.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to our old business, our budget for the 2021-2022 year.
So this is more or less the same as last month. There's a couple of new changes. We're going to get $2,000 from CECC, so that's been added on the revenue and program side. In estimating how much will carry over, it was a little bit higher than what I had estimated last month. It's still going to change by the time that we get to the actual end of year. But with that, I've also added an additional, let's see, $40,414.36 on top of the 21,730 that we talked about last month, adding that into the capital facility reserve. Let's see. The other thing is I added $8,000 to cover the cost to reupholster some of the furniture that we have in here that's starting to get torn and just really worn to where we can't, cleaning's not going to help it. But that'll prolong the life of that furniture. Everything else is the same as we discussed last month, but I'm happy to answer any questions there might be. Okay, if there's no questions, I just need a motion to approve.
So move.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Did anyone say aye? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to the new business, please. We have some policy reviews.
So all of the changes presented here, it's a result of reclassification with eliminating the page position, increasing starting salaries slightly. So that's all as we talked about last month. And then just a heads up, we will have a future revision to the certification policy, both kind of as part of this reclassification, and also with the changes that they did to certification. And I'm happy to answer any questions about any of these changes presented.
Well, they sounded good last month, so I'm sure they'll sound good now.
All right, well, if there's no discussion, do we have a motion to accept the revisions to the organization chart, the classification and salaries, and the job descriptions policies as they were presented?
I make a motion.
All
I'll
right, do we have-
second it.
thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to our budget of the 2020-21 amendments.
Okay, so this is kind of the same thing that you all see every month in the treasurer's report, that summary of the DLG budget, the official budget. So I've got a couple more amendments presented here, and that's to reduce other revenue by $500, and also to reduce service charges by $650. That's just where those were less than we estimated, because we've been closed a lot over the last year, and then increasing tax revenue, and so that's all listed there. In our directors meetings, I've learned from other directors that we really don't have to amend on the expenditure side, as long as we're not over budget, and we're good there. So I didn't present any amendments for the expenditures.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the budget of the 2020-2021 amendments for the reporting to the DLG as they were presented?
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion.
Oh, okay. Do I have a
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, let's move on to the audit, please.
All right. So I received a proposal from Kraft, Weininger, Noble and Company. This is the same auditor we've used the last 2 years. The proposal is the same cost. It's $5,285. Sam did let me know that if you all want any kind of rotation on their part, they can adjust the audit partner, or they can adjust the staff. They just want to make sure that you're happy with their services. So that's up to you all. It's not required to do a rotation, but it is recommended that you change things up every so often. So that's up to you all. And then if you want to accept their proposal for the audit as well.
I mean, I think if it's recommended to change stuff up, then changing the partner seems fine.
There any other discussion?
No.
All right, so Melissa, forgive me here. Do we need to talk about then options if we do change?
We can do that, or we can just go ahead and accept their proposal, and ask to rotate the audit partner.
I make a motion to accept their offer, but rotate the partner.
Second.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. I apologize if that was not exactly how it should have been, Melissa.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. We'll move on down to our next item on the agenda. It's Mike Mortimer and his resignation.
So I scanned in a copy of the email he sent. He said he's happy to continue helping if needed until a vacancy has been filled, but this is his official resignation. Don't really need a motion on that, just, to make sure you all are aware. And then same for the new board position. I've got the advertisement and the application there. We'll start getting that advertised. Depending upon how we meet next month, I can either, if we do it in person, I can have the applications just available for you all to review. If we're doing virtual, I can scan them in and email them. That way you all have the opportunity to look over all of the applications to help you make the choice of which names you want me to submit.
Okay.
Melissa, are you hoping that you get somebody in the same type vicinity where he lives to cover that area, or does it really matter?
I mean, that would be awesome if we could get somebody from kind of a outlying area, not necessarily California, but even if it were DeMossville, Williamstown, Barry. Right now we've got 2 in Butler and 2 in Falmouth. So, that's kind of the big cities. So somebody from a outlying area would be great. We probably, just to kind of keep things more diverse, we probably would prefer not to do a woman, just because that's going to put us really heavy with women on the board. But outside of that, it's just looking at whatever applications that we get and trying to create, a good board for the library that's diverse too. So we have a lot of other opinions. Everybody sees things differently, and that's a good.
You think what, I can't think of his name now, went brain dead. The gentleman that put in for it last time, he was a teacher at the school.
Tony Hess.
Yeah, do you think he'll put in again? Have you ever heard anything about him?
I haven't. I can touch base with him and see if he's still interested. I think. Oh, it was. I think right after, or either right after or right before we picked Mike, he actually asked to have his application back.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure if there's still any interest in there. But if you think he would be good, I'd be happy to reach out and see if he's interested in putting in an application.
I would say just advertise it like usual and see who, shows some interest.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, we can move on to our next item, the COVID-19 response.
So the good news is, Pendleton County is doing a lot better as far as cases go, which is awesome. Kind of update on what's been going on here. So June 1st, we did go back to our normal hours. We've seen an increase in patrons daily. In May, we were averaging between 30 and 71 people in each day. So far in June, we've been averaging between 45 and 132. So we're getting there. We're still not close to normal. Normal for June would be between 124 and 246. But that's with, a lot of summer reading programs and all of that going on. We discontinued quarantining returns, so that's going well. With June 11th, with the governor lifting the mandates, so we're not requiring any staff to wear their mask. We've put the furniture that was in the meeting room, that's all back out in the main part of the library. We've reopened all of our public access computers, all of the AWE, the kids' computers in the children's area, put back out. Like we've got the big play block and some built-in play areas. We've reopened that. Reopened water fountains, removed capacity limits in our genealogy room, reopened our book sale room. And with that, I have to apologize. We had a little mistake with the signage on the book sale. If any of you all heard that we were selling the library, we are not selling the library. We thought we put out a book sale sign, and it actually, I guess, was an old sign from the old library when we were selling that said for sale. So my sincerest apologies on that. We are not selling the library. Let's see, we are going to keep in place like the plexiglass at the circulation desk and the social distancing markers for now. And then, so moving forward, so the big things are when to resume meeting room use. For library use only, we are looking to return to doing our staff meetings in person in the meeting room. You might consider again, if we want to resume in-person board meetings, like right now, because we're still under the state of emergency, it's okay that we can't see April and we can't see Dave. Once that's lifted, that's not okay. If we were where we're at right now tonight, we wouldn't be considered to have a quorum because April and Dave wouldn't count because they can't be seen.
What do I got to do to be seen? I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Let's see.
I typed on the Zoom and I can see you when you're talking, and when the different ones talk, I see them.
Let's see. You should maybe have a message that just popped up. There we go. I can see you now.
Okay, I hit it.
Okay.
So the whole time you were talking, I seen you, so I didn't know.
and sorry about that, Dave, but I should have said
I
something.
mean, I know, I'm, the glare off my bald head. Maybe that's it,
Gosh. Uh,
But
I mean, I'm fine doing in person now. I mean, I don't know if that's something everybody else needs to discuss. I mean,
I'm fine with in person. I know we can't do Zoom forever, you know.
I agree. I'm fine with in person.
That's fine with me if that's what everybody
Yeah.
wants to do.
I'm vaccinated and Pendleton County's in the green, so.
And and that's something, if things do change, we can always change again.
Right.
We just kind of play it by
Go with
ear.
the flow.
Exactly. Um, the other part of that is resuming meeting room use for public meetings. There's a lot of libraries that already have. There's some who haven't. I will say I was contacted by Stephanie from Three Rivers. She's the health department. They've been given permission to host the Community Wellness Coalition meetings in person again starting in July. So she had asked about, because we've always had those before in our meeting room. They completely understand if you're all not ready to allow that yet. But that was a question that came up.
I'm fine resuming meeting room use. I mean, I think probably it would be wise for us to have a protocol on, it being cleaned between meetings or something, or I don't know, maybe, but I think it's fine to get it back going. I
So
have to assume if the health department wants to use it, then they think it's okay.
Yeah.
right. And they are kind of keeping with the CDC guidelines.
Right.
So if people in the meeting can't be socially distanced, then everybody needs to wear a mask, whether they're vaccinated or not. And then anybody not vaccinated, they want to wear a mask. So and we can kind of build that into advertising and restarting that service. And maybe go with let's see, maybe go with like July 12th as a date to start that back. We do have we have some shelving. We're trying to reorganize our closets a little bit better here in the library to maximize our storage space. So we've got a little bit in the meeting room, but we'll be able to have it out by then. And then the other thing to consider is resuming in-person library programs. There's some who have already started that. There's a lot that are still looking kind of at September. And assuming that things don't change, that might be kind of a good goal. Typically we get through summer reading. We use August more for planning fall programs, so that's kind of a break from programs for us. And then maybe consider resuming those in September.
I think that sounds
I
fine.
think that's a good idea.
I agree.
All right, and then I just want to give you all the opportunity to add any other thoughts or concerns you all might have.
Melissa, I just wanted to say I'm all for having the meeting down at the library. That's fine. But say something happened and I wasn't going to be able to make it down there, could I still participate and make it a quorum if I zoomed in or something, or just called you and did it on the phone, or not?
Okay, so the way that works, and we'll assume that we're talking about a time where the state of emergency isn't in effect. So the way that works is we can do a hybrid meeting. We still have to have the library as a physical space. Even if we were doing fully virtual meetings, we would still have to have the library open as a physical space for the meeting. We would have to make sure that everyone in the physical space could be seen and heard by you, Dave, and also that everybody in the physical space could see and hear you. I believe, don't quote me on this, I'd have to double check, but I believe it would also kind of work the same way with how we post the agenda in the library before the meeting. I think we would still have to do that. There's like some advertising criteria. So it would be something that we'd kind of have to know at least 24 hours ahead of time so that we could meet that advertising criteria.
Yeah, I'm not saying I want to stay home and everything like that. I'm just saying if something happened and I couldn't make, because I have no problem with coming down to the meeting. That's not a problem at all.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, and something like that, we can be flexible on that, and we've done that in the past. You all are allowed to miss 3 meetings in a rolling year. If something came up kind of last minute, just unavoidable, we could always reschedule the board meeting if it meant that we wouldn't have a quorum, if it meant that it would force somebody to resign who didn't want to. We could always reschedule that as a special called meeting to kind of help
Okay.
these. So there's some other alternatives with that.
That was my last month meeting. I was literally sitting here with Zoom open, ready to start. And my husband called and said that his car broke down. And I literally just had to be like, okay, I'm on my way.
Great. Sometimes things happen, and it's just it's one of those things. We do the best that we can. We go with the flow.
Right.
And, that's all we can do. All right. So that's all I have.
All right. Well, if there's no other discussion, then I will go ahead and say it is 7:03 my time. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
All right.
I'll
Do I
second
have?
it.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and I apologize that I was having technical difficulties and I'm not physically able to be seen, so I apologize.
All right.
What's the meeting next month? The date?
July 15th.
15th. Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So I will see you all July 15th in person in our meeting room.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All right. Thank you.
Everybody have a good evening.